All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Chaos Zero Nightmare video. Today I wanted to go ahead and give you my updated Yuki build, my more end game Yuki build. I've been putting a lot of hours into this combatant trying to get the perfect build, the perfect deck, and I'm still not there, but I've gotten a lot closer. And once again, I built some end game ones. I have two of them that I wanted to go ahead and showcase. I'm going to do a showcase with the Nebula boss because that is a pretty difficult boss currently. And then I wanted to go ahead and showcase her in a more favorable highlight in the Dimensional Twilight on the 10th basin. So I do hope you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you get some value from it. If you do, drop a like, sub if you're new, join the FBG fam. I would love to have you stick around. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Also, if you see that hype button, go ahead and hit it for me. It helps out the channel tremendously. Thank you guys once again. It does mean a lot. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop in really quickly though. I wanted to give another overall impressions on Yuki after putting tons of more hours into her. I don't think she is tier 0 by any means, but I don't think she's tier 2. If you put her in tier 2, I think that's egregious. I think that's downright diabolical. She is definitely like a T1 type of character in overall content, and then in Dimensional Twilight currently right now she's like T0. She's that good, just AoE, and she's getting all the buffs, right? And the attribute is favorable to her. The thing about Yuki, and I think why people thought she was so bad, is because one, base Yuki without any epiphanies and a synergized deck is not really that great. You have to get that deck built, and you have to have a very synergistic deck in order for her to shine. But also the type of events that we have out currently just does not highlight Yuki in a very favorable way. Because one, we're facing a lot of single target bosses where you want a single target combatant that can burst them down and do a lot of damage that way. So it's not very favorable to an AoE character. Furthermore, she does not have the attribute weakness, so there's no order enemies that she's going up against. It's all been Void and Passion currently. So I think as we go through more events that are more AoE focused and are more favorable to her element or attribute, I think Yuki's gonna shine more in that type of environment, as well as when we progress in the game and maybe we get some combatants that are direct partners for her, like very synergistic partners. We do have some in Nia. I think Nia is arguably one of her best ones. Veronica, right? Those are all really good. Ray, these are all really good partners for her, but there might be one that comes out and down the line that, you know, is a one-to-one for her, and then she'll really shine. But I think Yuki currently right now is a fantastic combatant. I think she is really good. I just think it was poor of the devs to come out with events that just do not favor her, which it is what it is, right? Nonetheless though, with that all being said, she still clears the content, and I'm still doing a lot of the hardest content in the game. I do get stuck on a few, and that's just because my other combatants aren't as built up like my support characters. But for the most part, I mean, I am clearing things with Yuki, and I know a lot of other people are as well. Anyways, the app fest's over. Let's get into the build. So I have her level 60. You see the stats here. You see this TB partner that stayed the same, Westmacott. I like Westmacott, not so much for the stats, even though the stats are good. I like Westmacott more so to be able to draw a Yuki card if I get like a brick tan. It just comes in clutch every now and again. So I have it level 60. That's why I like Westmacott, and I'm going with it. If we move over to potentials, I did go ahead and upgrade this a little bit more. We got that maxed out. We got that 4 or 5. I want to max that out. 10 of 10. 10 of 10, and then we're gonna max this one out as well. Why are we maxing this all out? Because Yuki is my most favorite character. Absolutely love this character design wise. The Nodachi is my thing. I love her personality, and I just noticed that she has earrings on her eyebrow or eyelid, whatever you want to call it. She's incredible. Anyways, moving on from there, here are the memory fragments, pretty much the same. I really haven't changed this at all. And then I guess the other change from the I don't know if I showed this in the last video or not, but I do have her E2 now. I don't know if I showed that in the last video, but I do have her E2. It's just quality of life updates for me, right? I don't think it's anything overpowering. I don't think it's anything OP. I think it's just very QOL, at least for me anyways, right? Removing that 20% debuff, that for me is a QOL, and then being able to get inspiration at the start of turn for 2 turns for me it's really good. I don't think, once again, it's OP, but I think it is really good, and once again, a quality of life for me. So I do like that, but more so, I wasn't going so much for the extra ego on Yuki. I was more so trying to get more Neo dupes, as well as I was trying to snipe a Ray dupe because I don't have E2 Ray, and I would love to have that for the heals. But also I was trying to build pity, And then if we happen to get a Yuki on the way, that'd be great. And we did get one early, so so we got an E2 Yuki. It is what it is. I'm all for it. Once again, for combatants that I truly love, I'm don't mind getting egos for. Anyways, moving over to the save data. We're just gonna pass that up. Moving over to the save data. So we have the 60,000 one here. I do like this one a lot because we do have 2 flash slashes. So just in case you're unaware, with Yuki, she is pretty self-sufficient in terms of being able to draw her own cards. A lot of people thought you had to have like Cassius with her to be able to draw a bunch of cards. I think people are realizing Cassius is not necessary. Like Nia does a great job on her own, but once again, Yuki is able to do it herself. And I think people are starting to realize that Yuki is pretty self-sufficient. If you get 2 prepares to subdues, if you replicate this, and then you get the one that allows you to draw another one. So there's one where you can draw 2 and then minus 20% damage. Or there's another one, if you get inspiration, you draw another one. If you can get either one of those and replicate it, I mean, freaking Yuki pulls a bunch of cards on her own. So I think people are starting to realize that. I unfortunately didn't get any of those in this deck. It's unfortunate. Rather, I got more of the damage dealing cards. Now, the Flash Slash, I think this is an amazing card for her. I definitely recommend replicating this if you have epiphanies on them, because a lot of times you can get the vulnerable, which is really nice, or the additional hit. That's a really good one as well. Or the weakness one is nice, but we luckily got the 2 vulnerables to the target. So I was able to go ahead and get that replicated in epiphany. The other one is Iceberg Cleave. I think this is the big daddy damage, right? Card right here, the Iceberg Cleave. This hits really hard once you get this buffed up, right? Freezing Blade is always a great card. You want to pop this off. You definitely want to get it where it has the initiation, where it's always in your hand first. So that way you can pop it off. That allows you to be able to do follow-up attacks. Luckily, this one had 1 morale as well, so it's really nice. So if your card has inspiration on it, then you're gonna follow up and do 60% damage to all enemies, and then be able to get the 1 morale. Super good card. Love it. And then we have Trickery Strike, and that's where you get all these follow-up attacks from, right? Paired with Nia, you'll see a Yuki do like 5-6 attacks. It's crazy. Anyways, Trickery Strike, I like this card as well. It's a retain and a retrieve, meaning you can use it and then get it back, or you can hold on to it until you want to use it, and that's going to allow you to get an inspiration on the card. So maybe you pull a card and it doesn't have inspiration on it, use Trickery Strike, get the inspiration, and then you get a Trickery Strike back. It's pretty nice, right? And then you'll be able to get 2 vulnerables, which is great. So we're getting vulnerables here on the Flash Slashes, vulnerable on the Trickery Strike. So what could really happen is that you prepare to subdue, you get a Flash Slash, you can use Trickery Strike, apply vulnerable, Flash Slash, apply vulnerable. You already popped the Freezing Blade, so you're doing more follow-up attacks with that. You got the 1 morale pop, and then you hit a Big Daddy Iceberg Cleave. Now you can see where things get pretty nutty, right? Pretty nutty. On this deck as well, I was able to hold on to a Pulverize, which I think is pretty good. Now, Overwhelm is super solid on Yuki. Some people think it's her best in slot. I think it's a really good card on her, but Pulverize works really well also, and it draws 1, which is awesome, right? So Pulverize, I think, is good on her. And then we got the Big Daddy himself, the 9er, the 9 counter, forbidden card, Ecstasy of Violence. I like this card on Yuki for many different reasons. One, it's just a fun card to play around with, right? The 9 counter, that was pretty it was pretty cool to see a 9 count card. You know, people are pretty overwhelmed with that, but essentially you retain this card, and every time you draw a card, that counter goes down. So you can get this to a 0 cost, but it hits like an absolute truck, right? 150% damage times 4 when drawing by an ability, decrease cost of this card by 1. So once again, going back to like all the vulnerables that we have here and the morale boost, so you can do vulnerable, morale boost, vulnerable, and then you pop this baby. Yeah, you're gonna be hitting like an absolute truck. If you have a partner that's gonna boost up damage, give you some more morale or vulnerable on the enemy or weakness, right? You can see where things are going to get pretty nutty. And then you pop this bad boy, and Yuki is starting to hit like a truck. But that's what I'm saying, like Epiphany Yuki, like you put some time into it and you built a proper deck for Yuki. Yuki shines. Yuki does really well. I don't care what anybody says. It's just objectively true that once you get a good build for her and you have the right team, she performs, and she's competent, and she does really well in all modes of content, especially with, you know, the Dimensional Twilight. That's where she shines the most. But even in the events that we have right now, she could still perform really well. So it's just putting together the proper deck. It's taking the time to do it. That's what you have to do. For the equipment, this is not the best equipment, like the Foggy Crystal Ball. I wish I had the other one that I'm going to show here in just a second on this. And this deck probably would have been better than the other one because of that equipment. But we got that one. We got the Brainwave, and we got the Eye of the Eyeless. So decent equipment, not the best, not the worst. Now, moving over to my almost 70,000 TB deck right here. This deck is pretty solid as well. I do like what we got here, and it performs well. The only problem is that we didn't get to replicate the Prepare to Subdue. That's the only unfortunate part, but the equipment is a little bit better. Especially, this is the one that I was talking about, the Chimeranite. It's got a 90 attack, and then when you draw by an ability, 35% damage amount to your own attack cards for one turn. Arguably best in slot. And then we do have the Prepare to Subdue, just the Epiphany. The Flash Lash is here, pretty nice, right? It's going to decrease cost by 1, apply vulnerable 2 to all enemies, and then always attack weakness. I like this Flash Lash Divine Epiphany better than the other one, just for that reason, for always attacking the weakness. Super solid, right? The Trickery Strike, we do not have Divine or Epiphany here, so it's just the basic one. Freezing Blade, just the basic one, right? Iceberg Cleave, and then here, Confiscation. I probably could have put this on a different character like Veronica or Mika or Nia. I put it on her. I just thought we'll get more draw power. But hindsight, I probably should have put it on somebody else and left this for, you know, being able to replicate another card or something. Because as you can see, I only replicated Flash Lash, unfortunately. We do got the Overwhelm on this one. This is the card I was talking about. Super solid. If you're able to come across this card, pick it up for Yuki. It performs incredibly well. And then I did slap the Camouflage on her. Once again, I was just thinking about the draw. It has apply vulnerable, but once again, this is probably better on a different character. Once again, hindsight 2020, they gave me the shield back. It's unfortunate, but this is still a pretty solid deck, right? Pretty solid deck, super high TB. TBs don't mean a whole lot though, to be quite honest with you, but it's cool to see almost 70,000 TB. That's my highest one. Anyways, this is a very good one. So I'm going to showcase this guy, this deck right here on the Crab Boss, and then I'll showcase the 60,000 one in Dimensional Twilight. For the Crab Boss, I'll have some commentary there. For the Dimensional Twilight, I'm just going to go ahead and let the gameplay show, but you should stick around for that one because we do a pretty nice nuke on that one with the Forbidden Ecstasy and getting everything popped. So make sure you stay around to the end to see that. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know if your thoughts have changed on Yuki or not. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. And thank you guys once again so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name's Cody. Call me further. I'll see you all next one. Bye, guys. All right, let's see what we can do here. Hopefully we can pop off. So we're gonna pop the Freezing Blade first. Pretty much essentially just get all this going here. Go ahead and hit that. Now, what would have really been nice with if I had for Veronica the Giant Ballista, especially in this fight. Unfortunately, I just have a regular Ballista. I didn't get any Ballista Epiphanies. So it is what it is. Now, what we could do is we could, this is actually not bad. We can go ahead and pop this. And then pop the Flash Lash, and then we can go ahead and follow up there and then hit the Ballista. Pretty decent damage, right? So we negated a bit of damage there. This is a pretty solid hand, so I'm gonna pop this, pop the Prepare to Subdue. Okay, we got the Overwhelm, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna hit the Rapid Slash. I'm just gonna pop all these off essentially. Hit this here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit him with the Overwhelm. Not bad, nice crit. Hit him with the Overwhelm. Okay, and then what we will do is we'll hit this because he's not attacking us, so we'll go ahead and hit that so we can heal up, and then Ballista. So I wanted to go ahead and take on Nebula because this guy, this is actually pretty difficult content. And once again, this is a prime example of what I was talking about Yuki. The Yuki dilemma is that, like, if this was an order enemy that we're going up against, this would be great for Yuki, right? Yuki would be popping off, but unfortunately it's not. I'm gonna go ahead and hit him. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop this right here, see what we can do. If this was an ordered enemy, I think Yuki would be showcasing so much better, and I think people would have a different opinion about Yuki than what they do currently. And I think that's just because the enemies we've been going up against, she hasn't had the advantage, and so it makes her seem more mid than she really is. And then if you don't get the right cards for her, she doesn't seem as good as well. So it's like there's a lot of things that are going against her. But once again, I think over time she's going to really shine, and I think people are really going to see how good Yuki truly is. Well, this is quite unfortunate. Let me go ahead and do this, I guess. I think as time goes on, people will really see how, and once again, I think people are coming around to how good Yuki is. Yeah, the damage is not like Mei Lin, right? But it can be consistent. You just have to get the right cards. Unfortunately, we have not been, and you know, get the draws and everything. That's where a proper team comes into place. Now, I could pop the West Makad, but I'm afraid I'm gonna get one that's like a 2 cost, like Rapid Slash. I always get Rapid Slash. So rather, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pop this, try and negate some damage, try and heal up a little bit, see if I can prevent absolutely getting destroyed. Do that there. And it's just, this enemy just hits so hard. That's the problem. This enemy just hits like an absolute truck. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and pop that, get some more heals. Can we get some good draws here? Bro, the contamination. I almost said containment. The contamination's real. Go ahead and hit this. Pop that off. And this is where that forbidden card is really nice. So I got the forbidden card on Veronica. Pretty nice. That monster card helps to be able to do some more damage, extra damage. Okay. Go ahead and pop the rally. Perfect. We got the prepare to subdue. Alright, so what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and apply some vulnerable, and then we'll hit the iceberg cleave. Okay, not bad. And then we'll get some follow-up damage here. You know, almost 8k. This guy's body slamming me. All right, let's see. Pop that there, and I'll just hit him with the Rapid Slash just to get some damage. Okay. We need to draw into some pretty good cards here, hopefully. Okay. Confiscation clutch. Not clutch. I like the 0 cost on it, but that was not clutch. Let's pop. I'm gonna pop the West Makad. See if we can get like a flash slash or something. That's what I'm talking about. Clutch, baby. That was pretty clutch. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Whirlpool. Okay. I saved the Trickery Strike just in case we draw into a card and we don't have the inspiration on it. Okay. Calling me out here. I'm gonna go ahead and cleave this. Should I cleave this? No, I don't think that's worth the cleave. Actually, I'm gonna save it just in case we need to do the heals. I want to be able to heal up. I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. Now on my other deck, the Trickery Strike with the vulnerable, that would have been really nice to have, right? The vulnerable is good. That's why I like the other deck. The other deck is pretty solid. Okay. Alright, Kowalski, something good, baby. Got a bunch of rapid fires. This isn't the greatest thing in the world. We haven't been getting that 20% chance to proc either. Do I want to cleave this? I don't think it's worth cleaving. I'm gonna hold on to the heals as well. Hopefully decent damage. The 20% would have been nice. It would have came in clutch if we had the 20%. All right. Kowalsington, come on, baby. Kowalsington, we'll do the... All right, I'll take it. Repose. Okay, we didn't get the flash slash. That's all right. I'm thinking about doing a big cleave here. I'm doing it. Rather, I'll iceberg and then I'll cleave. There we go. Good damage, and then I'm gonna cleave. Yes, sir. And then 20%. No, 20%. Okay. Next turn, we should get it. And then we'll go ahead and showcase the forbidden one. The forbidden one's fun. Go and rally up. I think with the... Yeah, with the trickery strike, that's it. All right, so that was that. Let's go ahead and showcase the forbidden deck now. All right, I lied. I'm going to go ahead and do some commentary here so that way you can get my thought process on how I'm moving about the cards and how I'm getting things going. So we got a pretty decent hand here. We do have Nia and Veronica, so we should get some pretty good draw power. Luckily, with one of the equipments we have on the combatants, we got Iceberg Cleave for 0. I'm going to go ahead and pop this for 0 as well. Get some upgrades going. Let me go and pop the Nia Curiosity as well for 0. Select a card. We can get the Big Daddy right now off the bat. I'm going to get the Niner. So we could start getting this down. We should be able to get this down to 0 with all the draw power. And then see if we can do a nice, you know, pretty nice nuke. Let's go ahead and pop the Sir Kowalsington here. That's my boy. And then let's do a pretty decent cleave. And so what we're trying to do, essentially, name of the game with this deck, is to get as much vulnerable on the enemies as we possibly can. Hopefully get some morale. Get that Niner to a 0. Oh, we got the... That's nice. We got the upgrade here. Get the Niner to a 0 and then do a pretty nice nuke. Let's go ahead and do this here. Once again, the draw power. So we draw 2. Unfortunately, we can't use them. We can't use anything. That's unfortunate. But we got it down to... we got 2 cards, so it brought it down 2. So it's literally the cards that you draw. We're going to get it down to 5 here. And once again, unfortunately, we can't use any of these cards. We get... Oh my gosh, that was a nice, super nice hand. It is what it is. It happens sometimes. What are you going to do? Right, we're going to have to recycle. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. And we'll go ahead and get rid of that guy. Go ahead and pop this. Let's pop this Sir Kowalsington. Got another amp. We'll just go ahead and use this here. Now we got that card down to 3. So it's down to 3 already. Okay, we should be able to do some stuff here. We got some nice draw. We'll now be able to get this down to 0 with all the draws here. So we do that. We're gonna do this. We got 2 cleaves. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, I guess so. Go ahead and grab that. So now it's a 0 cost. We'll go ahead and wipe this out and see if we can set up the next turn. All right. So we are already set up here. Go ahead and get the Adagio just so I can see what I can get here. We got the cord. That's fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do Trickery Strike into Flash Slash and then see if I can nuke with the Forbidden. So let's go ahead and do this here. Vulnerable. Vulnerable. More there. And then hit here. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not too bad, right? Not too bad. But that's what it's all about, is being able to set you up for that Forbidden nuke. Anyways, that is the showcase. I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much once again. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.